This is a recap on The Dark Knight. The film opens with a group of men in funny costumes breaking into the safe where a large portion of the crowd's money is kept. It starts with 6 entertainers, each of whom gets a cut of the money. It is recommended that the 6th member of the group, nicknamed the Joker, who dressed up. As the heist goes on, the clowns start killing each other to get a bigger cut, until one crashes a school bus into several banks. Letting the comedian know that he doesn't have the bleakest views, he leans over and tells the economist, "I accept anything that doesn't kill you makes you just wonderful." The transport pulls out with all the money in the bank, and the pin jumps out. It's just a gas explosion. The Joker joins the long school bus from the scene as the police arrive. Gotham is then seen around evening time with lawbreakers hesitant to carry out wrongdoings under the careful indication of the bat signal projected onto the mists. Gordon makes sense of that it is okay in the event that he isn't, trusting that he is occupied somewhere else. In the meantime, in a parking structure, the Scarecrow, still on the loose subsequent to getting away from Arkham Shelter, is haggling with the Russian crowd individuals drove by the Chechen. The deal is intruded on when a portion of Gotham's residents dressed as Batmen want to start taking shots at the men. The Scarecrow takes note of that they are not the genuine Batman, since Batman could never utilize a firearm. Out of nowhere, the Batmobile tumbler crashes through a blockade and Scarecrow noticed, fires rockets into a close-by office, sending the leftover mobsters running. The genuine Batman shows up on the scene and curves the rifle barrel of one of the want-to-be Batmen prior to taking him out, and as Batman saves them, he takes the canines out subsequent to being seriously chomped in the arm. He leaves the phony Batman and the Scarecrow alongside a portion of the mobsters integrated up for the police to ultimately gather together. Gordon shows up at the bank the Joker held up before with Ramirez, who shows him the Joker's image from a surveillance camera. At the point when Gordon inquires as to whether the Joker is a danger, Batman illuminates him that he can't stress over small time when there is a whole crowd to cut down. The following day, as Bruce Wayne lines himself up from the canine chomp, Alfred offers his interests, cautioning Bruce to know his cutoff points. He sees Bruce keeping a nearby watch on recently named lead prosecutor Harvey gouged through some PC screens, as Bruce is attempting to conclude whether Imprint can be relied upon. Alfred contemplates whether he is truly keeping an eye on the relationship that Rachel Dawes has created with Harvey Mark. Harvey Imprint shows up in court to join Rachel Dawes and arraigning mobster Salvatore Maroni, the supposed new head of the Falcone wrongdoing family. One of Maroni's men accepts any penalty in court and endeavors to shoot Scratch from the testimony box. Weapon doesn't go off and Scratch punches the man before he is dragged away to prison. Maroni is ultimately liberated, to the disappointment of Gouge. Scratch meets Lieutenant Gordon, and after a short trade of words, the two of them express their doubt for those that are working in one another's workplaces. Harvey cross-examines Gordon over his contribution with the Batman, and Harvey lets him know he needs to meet him. After the gathering with Lau, Wayne communicates his reservations with Lucius Fox about Lau's business activity, obviously unlawful in light of their benefits. Wayne asks Fox for another suit. He makes sense of that he should be lighter and quicker on the off chance that he runs into any more gatekeeper canines and that he needs to have the option to turn his head. That evening, Harvey eats out with Rachel. Bruce and his date, the prima ballet performer for the Russian artful dance, experience Rachel and Harvey. Bruce has them arrange a table so they can feast together, illuminating Harvey that he possesses the cafe. Bruce appears to be desirous and undermined by Harvey, in light of the way that he is dating his own old flame. Bruce shifts his perspective and illuminates Harvey that he plans to toss an enormous asset raiser for him. In the meantime, all of the top horde individuals are having a confidential gathering in a cafe kitchen. Lau appears to them on a TV screen from his plane coming back to Hong Kong. He illuminates the horde that all regarding their cash has proactively been moved to a solitary secure area, similarly as Lieutenant Gordon and company are looking through the banks, tracking down only the lighted follow cash. The Joker unexpectedly goes into the room, and subsequent to killing an unfriendly horde parts colleague via a sorcery stunt, plunks down and talks with the crowd about how woeful they've become since Batman came around. He lets them know their one arrangement is to kill the Batman, and offers to do as such for around 50% of the crowd's cash. He cautions them about Lau, saying he knows of Big Mouth when he sees one, provoking Lau to switch off his screen. The Joker opens his jacket, uncovering projectiles. Romp lets the Joker know that he's putting a cost out on his head. The Joker advises the horde that when they intend to view things somewhat more in a serious way, call him, and presents them with his card, a Joker playing card. He snatches her and threatens to use a blade on her, enlightening her an alternate rendition of the story regarding how he got his scars, guaranteeing that his better half was scarred by predatory lenders and that he took a razor to himself to make her grin, yet that she left him over it. Rachel kicks him away, and he comes after her colloquialism that he loves that little battle in her when Batman appears and sends him faltering. A battle breaks out between Batman, the Joker, and his hooligans, with the Joker and the thugs beating on Batman pretty well. At the point when Batman acquires the high ground, he sees the Joker holding a weapon at Rachel's head as he hangs her out of a shot-out window. Batman requests he let her go, to which the Joker answers extremely unfortunate selection of words and lets her fall. The Joker obviously evaporates from the scene. Batman is seen on the edge of a roof tuning into mobile phone frequencies when he hears a plot against Harvey Imprint. Gordon hurries to the condo with Ramirez and Batman to find two cops killed, with the last names Harvey and Gouge. As the service progresses forward with the road underneath, Wayne examines a room where he accepts the Joker may be, and he finds a few men restricted. They let Wayne know that their weapons and garbs were taken. Wayne investigates optics brought up of a dazed window. The window blind is associated with a clock. Simultaneously, the Joker, who had eliminated his cosmetics and glossed over himself as an individual from the ceremonial group for the function, turns and goes after the city hall leader. Everybody frenzies and runs, yet the police shoot one individual from the ceremonial group in the leg and take him into a truck. Ricker sees that the ID on his uniform peruses official Rachel Dawes. Batman enters a club and snatches Maroni in the wake of beating on his men. He grills Maroni on the Joker's whereabouts, who guarantees that he ought to have held him from a higher area. Maroni makes sense of that the Joker has no companions, and nobody will surrender him in light of the fact that not at all like Batman, he plays by no standards. As he flips the coin once more, Batman appears and grabs the coin in midair, inquiring as to whether Gouge would truly take a risk with a hooligan's life up, to which Scratch replies. He illuminates Harvey that this crook Thomas Schiff is a jumpy schizophrenic patient from Arkham Refuge and that he will not gain a single thing from him. Bruce shows up back in his penthouse to find Rachel pausing. She lets him know that turning himself in won't stop the Joker's lethal frenzy, yet Bruce says he has a guilty conscience as of now. He advises her that she guaranteed him that they would be together if and when he balanced up the mantle of Batman. She tells Bruce not to make her his main expect an ordinary life, and they share a kiss. She lets Bruce know that assuming he hands himself over as Batman, that the city won't ever allow them to be together. Back at Wayne's mystery headquarters for Batman, he and Alfred start annihilating all that could attach Lucius Fox or Rachel to Batman. Bruce makes sense of that Batman can't get through the obligation regarding blameless people kicking the bucket, particularly where Rachel is concerned. Harvey endeavors to dissuade the gathered press and police to not surrender to the apprehension that the Joker has released upon the city. Stands up to Alfred over Bruce's appearing weakness and permitting Harvey to accept all negative consequences when he professes to be Batman. Alfred clears up for Rachel that Batman is all things being equal, permitting himself to be something different other than a legend, primarily a figure beyond the framework that individuals can both go to or fault in the midst of hardship, that Batman can take it. Harvey clarifies for Rachel that this is Batman's opportunity. He then takes out the coin and says heads. I proceed with this, and flips it, arriving on head. At the point when Rachel lets him know that he can't take a risk with something to that effect, he flips her the coin, uncovering that it is a two-headed coin. During this vehicle, he's anticipating getting gone after by the Joker, and he's anticipating Batman to come and save him, and to catch the Joker. The escort takes off. While shipping Harvey, the Joker and a few thugs begin taking out the squad cars in an enormous semi-truck. He takes out a RPG and starts terminating at the reinforced truck conveying imprint. Batman pursues down the Joker on his Batpod, hitting a few links at the truck and winding around them through a few light shafts and structures. Flips the truck totally finished. Gordon is elevated to official by the city chairman. The Joker imparts a cell to an enormous man who whines about his inner parts harming. Official Gordon, subsequent to rejoining with his family, gets a call making sense of that Harvey never made it home. He gets back to the jail to cross-examine the Joker. The Joker savagely uncovers that Harvey, however Rachel are in isolated areas. Gordon shows up at the alleged area for Gouge, yet the distribution center detonates and Rachel is killed. As Batman saves Gouge via doing him of the stockroom, the blast touches off the gas that soaked Mark's face, terribly consuming it. Batman visits Scratch in the emergency clinic and leaves him the two-headed coin that they found at the site where Rachel kicked the bucket. Alfred peruses Rachel's letter. Bruce communicates to Alfred his demolition behind losing Rachel and that he feels liable for motivating franticness and demise. Official Gordon visits Imprint and attempts to let him know how sorry he for has unfolded. Harvey is loaded up with rage for Gordon not paying attention to him when he cautioned Gordon not to believe the bad officials that Scratch examined during his time in Inside Undertakings, which has. As Gordon leaves a genuinely crushed Harvey, he runs into Maroni in the corridor, who lets him know that the Joker has gone excessively far and that assuming that Gordon needs the comedian. At the point when they get to Gotham General, a cop endeavors to clear a medical caretaker in Harvey Mark's room, which then ends up being the Joker, and he kills the cop. He then, at that point, makes sense of for Two-Face how he really wants to present a little rebellion and tumult. Joker unfastens Two-Face and gives him a gun. Flips the twofold gun to choose whether or not to shoot Joker, which Joker concurs is not out of the question. While standing up to Maroni in Maroni's vehicle, he discovers that the other cop is Ramirez. He then, at that point, flips the coin for Maroni, which lands on the spotless side. One ship should press the button and obliterate the other boat by 12 p.m., or probably the Joker will annihilate the two boats. This achieves a lot of disorder in the two boats, and a great deal of soul looking through about ethical quality and about if anybody would really do something like this. Fox finds the Joker, who has stayed in a structure actually being built with many comedian monitors. Gordon surges off to save his family as Batman breaks into the structure. In the wake of understanding that the Jokester watches are the genuine prisoners and the specialist's prisoners are the Joker's thugs. He thumps a smack individuals to keep them from killing the comedian Watchman, and he impairs the hooligans as he advances up to the Joker's area. At the point when he at last defies the Joker sends the Chechen's Rottweilers after him, and keeping in mind that Batman fends them off, the Joker beats him fiercely with a dull metal item.